I'm Sean.
My name's Alyssa. We're here at King Swing. This was our level 4 on Sunday.
We really worked on, oh, now I'm noticing this. Thanks. Okay, what is the not whatever. We really worked on control of weight transfer and timing and how that impacts the connection. So we started off just by being able to use rolling count to break down the progression of our steps. We talked about striking the foot to the floor, accenting when the strike of the beat is, but then using all the remaining time until our next step. So we strike 1, we used and to get to about 50-50, and then the to finish through the hip and release the other foot. 2 and 3 and 4 and etc.
We didn't just talk about the strike of the foot down and the roll down, but we also talked about needing to peel the foot off the floor to be able to roll it down. So as we bend the knee, we're allowing the heel to initiate this peel of the foot. The foot's going to actually come slightly off the ground before we strike it again.
Then we also talked about triples, so obviously there's a different amount of time, so we distribute that time differently. We talked about using a swung rhythm for our triples. Rolling count is nice because it helps us to count where that swung part of the triple should be. So what we do is rather than counting 3 and 4, 5 and 6 straight timing as a baseline, we'll use 3 and 4 and 5 and 6, that swung and syncopated rhythm. I would rather have my basic be to swing and then have the music force me out of it than to have my basic be straight timing and then have to find the swing when a blues song comes on.
Yeah.
I'd rather just be my basic. So what I'm doing here is using all of 3 and for the first step. 3 and.
So we're thinking of delaying that downbeat.
It's quite a quick step on the up. Then we have all of 4 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 1
Long,
and
short,
2,
longest.
1 and 2 and like I said,
Long
short,
and
longest.
Yeah.
So that's our triple. Where we see mistakes a lot is a really quick 3 and 4, 5 and 6. It looks off time because it is.
Then we went over forward steps, side steps, and back steps. So the difference between taking a step underneath us is striking with that bent knee, rolling to a straight leg. Small steps backwards, it's the same thing. When we start to take steps outside of the circumference of our hips, we're going to strike with a straight leg and move to a straight leg. So we're thinking of striking and marking the floor on the strike of the beat, pushing out of the back leg, and then fully committing over that foot. Same thing with sideways steps.
There's still intent in that direction. We're not like putting our toe in the water and then moving. We're still moving in that direction, but we're allowing the leg to straighten before we fully arrive. And we're allowing ourselves to catch with the receiving foot to control the arrival. So it's not one piece and then the other, but it is articulation of that journey and the timing that we're using within that journey. So a nice little drill to practice this is our box step drill. 8 counts, we're going to go forward 1 and side 2 and triple 3
Place.
and 4 and back 5 and 6 and 7, 8 and 1. We talked about this is variable to the speed of the music. When we have slower music, we can really articulate this space and time, and we have to not get ahead of the timing. When the song is much, much faster, that time is much smaller, so the articulation will become slightly less prioritized, all the way up to the point if we're dancing to almost Lindy Hop music, we might have much less articulation, almost getting to immediate weight transfers. Like you're getting to maybe 90 to 99% at the strike of the beat because it's such a fast beat.
Practice to lots of different speeds with this particular drill.
Then applying that to our West Coast swing. One of the main areas was actually the articulation of our anchor. So having 5 and 6, that we don't just land 6. Then we either have to wait here or we end up leading early. So instead we articulate 5 and 6, and we move a little further. Is when the actual settle happens and releases the foot. That's when I can pull my left foot back behind me. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, straight leg on 4 liters, and 5 and 6 and 1 and straight leg on 2, 3 and straight leg on 4, 5 and 6 and 1, straight leg for us. Straight leg, move on the and 5, 6 and 7 and 8. really keeping the integrity of the timing and allowing yourself to articulate with that time that you're using.
This is especially helpful in preps as we're starting to load things for rotations. 1 and 2 leaders we talked about, kind of stopping that hand in space so the followers have something to work off of. Followers, we talked about keeping that roundness through the frame versus letting the elbow cut across the body here.
So I want to move the hand enough to get my follower rotating, but then I also want to create a back to neutral. I want to create a stopping point for them to rotate against. So I have to move it, but then I have to stop it. Move it and then stop it. Move it and then stop it. So we have 1 and 2. When we move over this foot, that's the follow through, and that gets them going.
That's the initiation of the turn.
And 3 and 4, 5 and 6 and 1 and 2, and 3 and 4, 5 and 6.
Followers, we expand slightly through that 2. We close into the closing action of the turn through my and 3. If we want to add a little bit of acceleration into the turn, I can do something called counter pulling. So as my leader starts to draw me over the front foot, instead of letting the hand move away from the body, I bring the hand towards my body for a split second to accelerate me into that weight change.
Gives a lot of extra punch to turns. Descending the hand, either positioning it on the follower's far right, closer to their right side, or across will change their positioning. Followers are kind of responding to that. Also, how fast the hand descends will change the speed of the end of the turn. So we played with leaving it a little bit higher for a little bit longer on the follower's right side.
It's going to really make me under-rotate and almost bend the body.
Slowly opens us up, versus bringing it straight down to the follower's right side, squaring us up, more fundamental. And then maybe actually accelerating it down to possibly over-rotate, opening us up across the slot.
Nice.
So we just be mindful of your off-ramping leaders, and followers be kind of aware of where that hand's being placed in space.
The last thing we did was a fun variation on this. We went into a reverse whip and that climber's grip handhold.
Really making sure in our reverse whips still load up that 2, right? This is such a better way to feel a reverse whip. 1, 2, and we can exaggerate it, especially if you want to build some energy, exaggerating into the hip. And 3 and 4, again, really hanging back here. We're going to go 5. I didn't catch the hand early enough, my bad.
That's okay.
The basic version was just going into an outside
Outside
turn.
turn, yeah.
5, 6, 7, and 8. If I set it up that way, and I had this grip, a lot of times Alyssa would use all of that energy for something on one foot, or something like that. What we did was we caught the left hand over the top. 3 and 4. We brought the follower across for 5, 6,
Stay
great counter.
wide for your frame here. Don't get fully extended here.
To create this swoop, something I did notice is a lot of times followers would pull themselves in. You would just go across, like as they were going low, they would do everything all at once. And we wouldn't get the swing. Lower your hips first, lower your hips on this side, then swing through. That's how you're going to actually get the swing. Leaders, we need to counter away. As the followers lower, I'm also countering up. As soon as they go through, I change sides.
Followers, I'm packing my shoulders. Make sure I don't let the shoulders release out of the back. That's going to make me a lot heavier to support.
One more time, all the way through. We have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And that was it.
Awesome job.
Thank you so much,
everyone.
everybody.